in a systematics of living organism. Up to it, we have discussed about the different methods are used in a taxonomy. So the next method that it is a DNA barcoding. While classifying the animal, the things are considered about the DNA barcoding. DNA barcoding is an actually new method for the identification of any species based on its DNA sequence. This DNA is collected from any cell, any tissue of an organism which is taken for the study. It is somewhat similar thing if you have heard about the DNA fingerprinting, which is nowadays is used for identification of person on molecular basis. To solve the number of crime cases, one can use that DNA fingerprinting, or here we are going to say as an DNA barcoding. Here the DNA barcoding is applied, is used for classification of animal, identification of animal. It helps to study newly identified species. If any new organism is collected by the scientist, by the collector, then DNA barcoding is helpful for the identification of that species, that organism. Not only for identification, it also helpful to understand the ecological and evolutionary relationship between the living organism. Cause DNA gave us a detailed account about the protein synthesis, about the proteins required, about the metabolic activities required to being alive in the given ecological system. The next, the process of DNA barcoding, it includes mainly two basic steps. First one, collecting the DNA barcode data of the known species. For that thing, firstly we have to collect the DNA from the sample of cell or a tissue from that organism. Once we collected the DNA, then we go for collecting the DNA barcode data of the known species. Now we have two DNA barcode data. Previously studied a DNA barcode data of known species, and now we have a DNA barcode data of the newly collected individual organism. Then in second step, we have to go for matching the barcode sequence of the unknown sample against the barcode library for identification. That means against the known sample. So which is helpful to identify the animal very quickly with the help of a DNA barcoding. What are the application of a DNA barcoding? That DNA fingerprinting previously we have discussed. Nowadays it is helpful to identify the person on a molecular basis to solve the crime cases. But here it helps for what? It helps for protection of endangered species. It helps for preservation of the natural resources. The DNA barcoding is helpful to control the pest in agricultural field. It is helpful for identification, rectification of diseases and vector-borne diseases, who is going to carry the pathogen from one plant to another plant, from one animal to another animal. It helps for authentication of the natural health products and identification of medicinal plants. As the DNA barcoding gave us an idea whether the plant has some medicinal importance or not. So this is about, or it's all for DNA barcoding. The next, taxonomic categories. Now see here, in the case of taxonomic categories, classification is not a single step process. That means when we make a group of animal, group of organism, it is not in a single step process. It involves the hierarchy of a step. It involves the steps in a stepwise manner. in which each step represents the rank or a category. Category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement. It is called as a taxonomic category, and all categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Hierarchy, the level or arrangement from higher level to lower level. You can take a hierarchical classification or hierarchical arrangement is what? You can take any of the organization. They have a level from highest to lowest. At your school also, at your college also, you can observe. The highest category is principal. Then after principal, teachers. Then students. That means there is an arrangement. In any of the organization, you can observe the highest category to lowest category, the arrangement is there. You can take another example also. Many small boxes are present in a large box. That it is a hierarchy. From larger to smaller, from smaller to higher. The arrangement is given. In this case, kingdom, subkingdom, division, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species are some categories in a sequential hierarchical manner from higher towards the lower. Kingdom, it is an highest category, and species, it is an lowest category. The categories now given are compulsory. Besides these categories, some facultative categories are also given, like suborder, subfamily, etc. Are used as per the need. Taxonomic hierarchy, as now only we have discussed, from higher to lower. Taxon. A taxon is a taxonomic group of any rank in the system of a classification given by the scientist H.J. Lamb. In a plant kingdom, each one of the following, such as angiosperm, dicotyledony, polypetalae, malveals, are different taxons representing the taxonomic group. That means taxon belongs to the category. Like Plantae, it is belongs to the kingdom category. Plantae is a taxon, kingdom is a category. Then subkingdom is a category, phanerogamy and cryptogamy are the taxon. Division is a category, angiosperm and gymnosperm are the taxon. Got it? In this way. Two examples are given in front of you who give us an idea about the classification of hibiscus and classification of the cobra. Here the categories and taxons are also given. First category, kingdom, taxon, it is a Plantae. Division, angiosperm, taxon, category, it is a division, taxon is an angiosperm. Then class, dicotyledony. Plantae, those are belongs to the plant. Angiospermy, those are the flowering, seed-bearing plant. Dicot means two cotyledons are present. Subclass, polypetalae. You know the flower, petals. Polypetalae, petals are free from each other. Gamopetalae, petals are united to each other. These are the subclasses. Then series, thalamiflory. On the thalamus, all the whorls are arranged, so called as a thalamiflory. Order, Malveals, family, Malvaceae. Genus, Hibiscus, and species, Rosa sinensis. In the same way, if we discuss about the cobra, kingdom, taxon is Animalia. So that it is an animal, belongs to the animal. Heterotrophic, can move from one place to the another place. Then phylum, Chordata. Here in the relation of animal, instead of division, after kingdom we are going to use the phylum, and after phylum, if it is needed, we are going to use the division. We'll discuss about that thing also in a next topic, in a next lecture. That class, Reptilia. Chordata, Those are the chordates we have discussed previously also. The notochord is present, pharyngeal gill slits are present, heart is present towards the ventral side. Class Reptilia. The animals are belongs to the class Reptilia, phylum Chordata, then subphylum Vertebrata, then after subphylum Vertebrata superclass Tetrapoda, and then class Reptilia. Mind it. Here the subphylum, division, superclass are not given but are used in a classification of individual organism, individual animal. Class Reptilia. Reptilia, the animals, they shows and small limbs, or either they creep on the ground. They have a scale on their body. Next, subclass Diapsida. Series are not there. Order Squamata, family Elapida, and genus and species. Now see here the scientific name of a cobra, Naja naja. Cause whenever we are going to take a scientific name of the plant as well as the animal, we are going to take the name of a plant and animal scientific name. It is a binomial system of nomenclature. First name is a genus and second name is a species. So first name genus about the cobra is Naja, and second name species, it is also Naja. So whenever you people are going to see the cobra, you can call that cobra as Naja naja. Kai? Nako nako. That it is a scientific name. Genus it is Naja, species it is Naja. So whenever you people are going to see the cobra, you can call that cobra as Naja naja. The next one. Units of classification. Here in the units of classification, you can observe the first unit, that it is a species. Species is the basic unit of classification. You can define the species as a group of organisms that can interbreed under the natural condition to produce the fertile offspring. Now see here, we can define the species. This is a group of closely related organism or similar organism. Group of similar organism that can freely interbreed with each other and produce the fertile offspring. Group of similar organism means what? The organism externally should show the same kind of the features. Their height, their color, their appearance, their habitat, their habit should be similar. So we can say the similar animals, similar organisms. Another thing, they should go for freely interbreeding under natural condition. Once they get interbreed with each other, they have to produce the offspring. They have to produce the young one. They have to go for reproduction and produce the new generation. And one condition is that once they produce this new generation, this new individual organism should be fertile. It should not be sterile. Like you can take the similar organism like tiger and lion. These are similar organism. They can't go for interbreeding under natural condition. We can go for artificial insemination and produces the offspring, but the offspring it is sterile, which we have taken as an example of a Tigon hybrid, mule hybrid of horse and donkey, because horse and donkey are not belongs to the same species. A group of a horse, it is in the same species. Once they go for interbreeding, they form a fertile offspring. Fertile means who have a capacity to produce the new generation, and sterile, who don't have a capacity to produce the new generation. So these are the some basic things about the definition of a species. So what is a species? A group of similar organism can go for freely interbreeding under natural condition and produce the fertile offspring, called as a species. It was stuffed to an indivisible, stable and static unit. Cause further differentiation it is not given under the species. So it is stable and it is static unit. It is difficult. It is difficult to go for a further division in a species. Till nowadays, in a modern taxonomy, one can go for the subspecies also. However, in the modern taxonomy, subdivision of the species are also given in the form of a subspecies. Varieties and populations are seen and given more importance while the classification of organisms. Next, genus. Genus is a second taxonomic rank which is higher than the species. So one can define the genus is a group of similar species bearing close resemblance to one another in their morphological character, but they do not freely interbreed with each other. So what is a genus? Genus is a group of species bearing close resemblance, similar character to one another in their morphological basis. But these two organisms cannot go for natural or freely interbreeding. So genus, it is a group of species. So tiger, leopard, lion, as now only we have discussed, tiger and lion are not belongs to same species but are belongs to the same genus. So tiger, leopard, lion, all three are belongs to the same genus Panthera. They have a common character, it are different from each other because their genus is same but species it is different. Another example of a genus, Solanum. Solanum tuberosum, potato. So under that genus Solanum, the species of brinjal, species of potato are came. These are brinjal and potato are the different thing but are belongs to the same genus Solanum. The next, family. This family represents a group of closely related genera. Example, genera like hibiscus, gossypium, sida, bombax are included under the same family Malvaceae. Here one can take an example, cat also belongs to the family of leopard, tiger and lion, and that family it is Felidae. So family Felidae includes the cat, leopard, tiger and lions, all are belongs to the same family. That leopard, tiger and lion belongs to the same genus but they have a different species in this way. But dog belongs to the different family Canidae. Now see here how we go for classifying the animals. Cohort or order. One can observe what? It is recognized by the nomenclature codes. Order is a group of closely related families showing definite affinities in between them. Order thus is a step above the family in a taxonomic hierarchy. Members belongs to the same order but different families may show very few dissimilarities. Example, order Paritalis and family Papiveraceae, Brassiaceae and Capiridaceae all are belongs to the same order. Here order Carnivora. In that order Carnivora, families of dog and cat as well as the lion, leopard, tiger all are come under the order Carnivora. All are carnivorous. So R belongs to order Carnivora. The next one, it is a class. The class is a distinct taxonomic rank of the biological classification. Have a distinct name. So class is an assemblage of closely related orders. So class Mammalia. Order Carnivora and Primates. In order Carnivora, now only we have discussed that cat and dog, lion, leopards are come. And in primates, you can take the old world monkey, new world monkey, hominoid. That means human beings also. Thus, monkey, gorilla, gibbons, all are belongs to the primates, and dog, cat, tiger are belongs to the Mammalia. Carnivora belongs to class Mammalia. The next, division or a phylum. The division is a category composed of related classes. Example, division angiospermy shows a class Dicotyledone and class Monocotyledone. So division is composed by related classes. Dicot, two cotyledon. Monocot, single cotyledon. Belongs to the same division, angiospermy. Angiospermy, these are the flowering, seed-bearing plant. In animal classification, one can observe, instead of division first, we are going to take the phylum first. After kingdom Animalia, we are going to take the phylum Chordata. Then below this phylum, subphylum Vertebrata. Actually below the phylum Chordata, there are three subphylum. Subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Cephalochordata, and subphylum Vertebrata. Then after subphylum Vertebrata, there are two different division. Division Agnatha and division Gnatostomata. As if we take the division Agnatha, there is a presence of the Cyclostomata. There is a presence of superclass Cyclostomata. But here in the division Gnatostomata, here the division Gnatostomata, Gnatha means jaws, stomata means mouth. So around the mouth there are presence of a jaws, so called as a Gnatostomata. Superclass Tetrapoda. Superclass Tetrapoda. Tetra means four, podas means legs. So phylum Chordata formed by subphylum. Subphylum formed by division. Division formed by superclass, and superclass are formed by class. So superclass Tetrapoda have four classes as Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia. In this way. Okay. It's all for today's lecture. We'll discuss the remaining things, subkingdom and kingdom, into the next lecture.